Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to hopefully our first live session on this new channel. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. And in this live video, we're going to talk about dog behavior, specifically reactivity in dogs. um, and basically just gonna test it to see how the live session goes. Last time I tried to do a live session for technical problems and technical issues and reasons, uh, it didn't work and I disconnected the live session, but today I'm prepared and ready to go. Hope you're doing well. So I'm doing a live session on this new channel for the first time. Um, if you're watching this pre-recorded, go ahead and ask your questions in the comments area. I'll read them and answer them as soon as possible. And if you are joining me live, go ahead and ask your questions in the chat area. Let me just make sure that everything is working. Uh, yes, there is audio, there's video, everything is seems to be on. Okay, I just need to turn on my light like that. All right, okay, so let's start with our topic today. And meanwhile, let me just check. It's kind of weird, but I think it will do. Right. So let's talk about reactivity, or basically just overall dog behavior. Reactivity, or when a dog is reacting or misbehaving in a general form, um, it's not that it's not what usually you think. You think, okay, the dog is either bad or is aggressive or misbehaving or is something that is going on. Uh, but reactivity is not a sign of a bad dog or a dog who's dominant. Reactivity is basically a sign that shows that the dog is stressed and anxious. That's overall uh, concept of understanding dogs. A reactive, aggressive dog is a dog who's uh, stressed and anxious. So, why is it that a dog could be stressed and anxious? There are many reasons. If we go deep, we can we can start with genetics. The dog has had uh, bad breeding and probably, or uh, overall, I would say in the past, the parents of this dog probably had some form of um, stress and trauma in their life that they passed it on to the puppy and to the dog at the moment. So genetic can be kind of the reason for why a dog is reactive and why he's behaving that way. Uh, but then we go to breeding. When the puppy is born, the dog puppy is born. Uh, did it have a good um, uprising? Not uprising, a good right puppy right time. Did it have a lot of stress when it was a puppy? Did it have a lot of trauma when it was a puppy that led to today, which when the dog is more mature and adult, and now is more uh, showing that reactivity in form of stress and anxiety, or that was showing that stress and anxiety and trauma in form of reactivity and aggression. That could be it. Could be, maybe the way that the puppy was or the dog was raised, and um, there was actual trauma. A dog attacked it, something, or the dog felt that it was mistreated or not helped when it was a puppy. That can cause trauma in the puppy. But I would say if you have a dog now and you're saying, okay, why is it that my dog is anxious and stressed? I would say mostly because probably you're not providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs. This is the formula that I have created many years ago, and I have implemented in my own dogs and my students and my clients' dogs' lives. Basically, we have to understand that a dog, just like humans, has needs, and if those needs are not provided for the dog, something is going to go wrong. Something is going to happen. For instance, the dog either is going to misbehave, or worst case scenario, react or be aggressive. So dogs, being a simple animal, they have just 5 things that they need to be provided on daily basis. Whether you are going to provide them for them, or they have to come up with a way to provide it for themselves. And let's dig in a little bit and understand these 5 daily essential needs. I think if you understand these 5 essential needs of a dog, and you start providing these 5 things for your dogs on daily basis, not only you're going to be able to deal with reactivity, but overall you're going to improve your dog's life. You're going to make make your dog's behavior actually change and become better. So let's analyze these 5 daily essential needs of our dogs and figure out what those are. So let's begin with first need, and these are I call it 5 essential needs. The reason for that is because, as I said, dogs are simple animals, and they only have a very simple life. They're not complicated as humans. So if we provide these 5 essential needs on a daily basis, they will be much more happier and willing to cooperate with you as a dog owner living in a human society. So dogs, on one hand, they have this simplicity of life, that they need only 5 things, compared to humans that are a little bit complicated, and humans need more than 5 things to be happy and satisfied throughout the day. So the way I compare that is, for example, when it comes to humans, if we want to be happy, joyful, good people, we need to have our coffee, our cars, our phones, our computers, our cars, our our drinks, our beds, our house, our the list goes on and on, right? Then I can just list it, hundreds of things that we're going to need throughout the day to be happy and satisfied. Whereas dogs, they only need 5 things that you have to provide for them. And those 5 things if you just focus on providing it in this order, it will make it much easier for you to handle your reactive, bad behaving dog. Um, the foundation is basically is exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. So if you provide these five things, basically, you'll be having a dog who's not having behavioral issues, but also uh, it'll be easier for this dog to deal with challenges and stressors and triggers and things that may cause your dog to react. Uh, so the first thing is exercise. So exercise is a physical stimulation. This is something that most dog owners, excuse me, most dog owners, I think they focus mostly on this. They say, okay, I need to exercise my dog, but you have to look at exercise as a physical stimulation. So what that means is you are providing some form of uh, stimulation for your dog. It could be in terms of walking, playing with your dog, anything that gets your dog physically moving, especially if you have a young, healthy dog. Physical activity is very important to that dog. You have to consider that it needs it. It needs, just like it needs air, it needs water, it needs food, it needs that movement. Movement is very healthy for dogs. For also humans. Movement, physical activity, it helps the dog to burn off that pent up energy and develop muscles and develop healthy lifestyle in its overall being. And physical activity in general is good for any dog, any human, I would say. But the other thing that I want you to look at it when it comes to these five daily essential needs, I call them stimulation as well. Stimulations are things that uh, stimulate the the particles of the body, from the smallest particles to the biggest part of your dog's body, whether it's emotional, we'll go through all those emotional, mental, whatever it is, it stimulates them. And stimulation is a good terminology to for me to explain that stimulation is um, a good way of uh, thinking that the reason I'm doing this is to stimulate my dogs, for example, the physical needs of my dogs. When you look at it from that point of view, rather than I'm just exercising my dog, you approach it from more health approach, healthier approach, rather than um, I'm just exercising my dog. So exercise is a form of physical stimulation. You want to provide a good amount of exercise for your dog. You don't want to over exercise your dog. You don't want to under exercise your dog either. So you want to make sure that you're providing enough exercise for dog to the point that your dog is stimulated, it's happy, it's content. Uh, Most bad behaviors, I would say, are related to either not enough exercise or too much exercise. Um, Finding out the right amount of exercise for a dog is very important. Again, especially if you have a young, healthy dog, you want to consider exercising that dog at least for an hour a day. You can divide it in two half an hours and make it a day. So that's number one. Exercise is number one. Number two is training. Now, as I said earlier, um, you have these five things. You either have to provide it for your dog, or your dog is going to provide it for itself. So, for example, if you don't provide enough exercise for um, your dog is going to find a way to, do zoomies and run around and do all kinds of things. Um, your dog is going to do zoomies and this and that, or he's going to be running around and banging on coffee tables and things like that, you know, just messing up with you, messing up your life. And that's how the dog is going to be providing its exercise needs of the day. So, in order to prevent that from happening and becoming a negative experience for you or your dog, try to provide it controlled exercise. You control it as a human, as a dog owner, you control and provide the exercise that your dog needs. And now training, you're saying, okay, I don't think my dog needs train is going to train itself. Training is also, if you look at it from stimulation point of view, it's a mental stimulation. So a dog needs some form of mental stimulation. So what does mental stimulation look like for a dog? Mental stimulation is when a dog is using its brain, its mental cells, and most dogs, most uh, animals, but most specifically most uh, predator type of dogs, such animals such as dogs, they do a lot of mental activity throughout the day. So if you look at a predator in the wild, let's say a wolf or a tiger, um, they're always looking for survival. They're always making sure that the coast is clear, that their pups are safe. If they want to hunt, they need to mentally prepare themselves to go for a hunt and kill. Uh, Physically, they have to be able to go for a hunt. Mentally, have to be ready. So mentally, they're challenging themselves naturally. They need that mental stimulation. I mean, they get that mental stimulation. Not much of a physical stimulation, but more of mental stimulation. So what I mean by that is a predator, which your dog is also a predator, doesn't think of, okay, I have to exercise today a lot because I need to build muscle or this and that. Your dog is thinking, I need to exercise because I need to release that. I need to relieve that energy that I have. Let me just check if my uh, microphone is good. Okay. Um, so, an exercise is a part that the dog is going to be needing to do because it has to run and chase a prey. So physically, they have to be able, and physically they have to be ready, available to go for a hunt. But the mental part is the preparation for the hunt and getting ready to do this and that. That mental stimulation is something that any animal naturally will get it and will do it and practice it. So you need to be considered that my dog needs mental stimulation as well, not just physical stimulation, but needs mental stimulation. Now, your dog in the wild will go and hunt and kill and do all those things and mentally and physically stimulate itself and mentally stimulate itself. But when a dog is living with humans, it doesn't have that opportunity. Uh, Not that we want our dogs to go and hunt every day. I don't think it's an ideal lifestyle. And also because we have bred them, bred the hunting out of them, most dogs are not capable of hunting. So that part of their brain that the hunting used to be uh, used for stimulation is not being used. And today that we have our dogs, pet dogs, we have to provide them manual uh, stimulation. So the way you manually stimulate your dog is you use training. Training is a way for you to not only help your dog to mimic that exercise that or mental stimulation that it used to do in the wild. You're doing it in more controlled way and more um, in a way that it will help your dog to mentally stimulate. So if you train your dog using the right method, the ideal method of dog training, you will be able to um, you will be able to really stimulate your dog properly. I would say, like, if you stimulate your dog using training and the right form of training, you will have better way of not only stimulating your dog mentally, but get proper and good results out of that. So let me share the screen with you about what I mean by proper way of training. Most dog owners, they use or they come up with the idea of, I'm going to train my dog. I'm going to grab my bag of treats, and I'm going to teach my dog to sit and stay and all that, which is, I would say, is not ideal, but it's a way of training a dog. Now, if you want to actually train your dog, you have to literally find what your dog really loves. Like, is it one of those dogs that loves to go and swim in the water? If it's one of those dogs that likes to go and play with other dogs, is it one of those dogs that likes to play with humans, with you? Is it a dog who likes to go fetch toys, fetch games, and things like that? Is it a retriever, likes to retrieve things? Likes to go and bite things? You have to find out what those things are that your dog really needs and likes. Then combine that with the training. And the training would be more beneficial. And that activity that your dog likes can become uh, the reward for that training session. So let me see if I can bring another video that I am actually showing. Let's see, maybe this. So so for example, my dog, she loves to fetch. So the way I use the fetch game in the training is I use the game that she loves, and if she goes and fetches the game, fetches the toy and brings it to me, then that's a reward. So I use that as a reward. I see, for example, my dog likes to go and fetch things and brings it to me, then I would use that opportunity to teach my dog something, and the reward would be to go and fetch that toy. So if your dog, for example, likes to swim, you say, I'll let you swim if you do this for me. So when you're tapping into that part of mental stimulation or way of training your dog, what happens is your dog, you are using the proper form of training your dog, and therefore you're stimulating your dog in a way that mentally stimulates it properly, and it teaches your dog that I am being taught how to behave and how to do things, and I'm learning how to behave properly with the human in the human society. Meanwhile, I'm being stimulated mentally, and I'm also tapping into the exact needs that I have. So, from your dog's perspective, you are training your dog in a way that it's more effective, and you're not just feeding your dog treats, and you're not using aversive tools or aversive methods to train your dog. Instead, you're tapping into what your dog really loves and needs, and you're using that as a training tool or training method to get your dog to not only mentally get stimulated, but to listen to you, to behave properly, and you're hitting few birds at once, per se. So consider when it comes to training that, again, when we talk about training, look at it from I'm stimulating my dog mentally. So remember, you're not just exercising your dog, you're physically stimulating your dog. And when it comes to training, it's not just that you're training your dog, you're stimulating your dog mentally. Look at it from that perspective. It makes it more effective, and it makes it much healthier from your perspective to look at it from I'm not just training my dog, but I'm stimulating my dog mentally. Now, the next thing that a dog needs is socialization. Socialization also, again, is another form of stimulation. Dogs are mostly, 99.9% of them, are social animals. So what does that mean? I see John, the Beagle dog, is in the house. Good afternoon, John. Thank you for joining us. So what socialization is a mental social stimulation. So dogs are social animals. The reason they're social animals is because humans, they have bred dogs who were good behaving, good temperament, social dogs. So most breeders are breeding good social dogs. We want dogs to be social with, with humans, with dogs, with everything that humans are surrounded with, right? So in a way, socialization has been bred into dogs. Now, why is it that some dogs are antisocial and not very social, with dogs or humans or whatever it is, that's that's a different point that we'll get to. But socialization is, again, you have to consider it as another form of stimulation for your dog. So again, don't look at it from, okay, I'm socializing my dog. Look at it as from the perspective of, I'm going to stimulate, I have to stimulate my dog from social perspective. Uh, and that means your dog needs to be socializing with the things that your dog really enjoys. Now, most dog trainers will tell you that you have to socialize your dog with dogs all the time, but there are dogs that actually don't like dogs. There are humans who they don't really like humans. Like, there are humans that, not that they hate humans, they just don't have that joy of joining another human and socialize with humans, right? It's not that they're bad people, it's just that they don't have that, they don't enjoy that. But these humans, for example, they enjoy a dog company, accompany them. They have snakes as a company, as a pet. They maybe also like to hang out with maybe the grandma or grandpa only. Not everybody, but they have a favorite person and they like to hang out with that favorite person. So your dog is also like that. It's not that your dog is lacking, is antisocial. And there are dogs that they love everybody, actually. They love everything. Like they love humans, they love dogs, they love other pets, they love the bed, they love all the objects and everything in the world. Uh, but there are certain dogs that they don't like certain things. So you have to consider that part and understand that, okay, my dog, this dog that I have, uh, prefers to hang out with dogs or prefers to hang out with people and prefers to hang out with this person or prefers to hang out with this dog or prefers to hang out with this activity. It likes to go to park. Doesn't like to go to dog park, but likes to go to park. Likes to go to the river rather than the dog park. Rather than going to the park, likes to go to the lake. You have to, again, find out what your individual dog likes and enjoys and provide that, rather than, oh, you're a dog, you have to be going to a dog park. Maybe your dog doesn't enjoy the dog park. Maybe the dog park is a stressor. It's something that doesn't bring joy to your dog. Maybe the lake is more enjoyable for your dog. Are you that connected to your dog that you know exactly what your dog really needs and likes? And if you do, provide that for your dog rather than forcing your dog to enjoy the dog park, for example, or going and hanging out in the coffee shops. You enjoy hanging out in the coffee shops, but that doesn't mean that your dog enjoys being in the coffee shop, right? Things like that. You have to consider understanding and providing what your dog needs as a form of socialization, and provide that for your dog. So again, look at it from, what does my dog needs as a stimulation when it comes to socialization, rather than I have to socialize my dog. Now, if your dog, for example, doesn't like to hang out with dogs, it doesn't mean that your dog is a bad dog or is a bad apple. It just means that it's not enjoying that activity. Now, you can help your dog to start feeling more comfortable and tolerate being around other dogs, but you shouldn't be forcing it to tolerate other dogs just for the sake of socialization. Uh, you could help it. You could, for example, take it to dog park, but don't go inside of the dog park. Stay outside of the dog park and see if your dog is happy to go in the dog park or is just avoiding to go to dog park. If it's avoiding, don't. If it's reacting to dogs and is not enjoying that to go in that environment, for example, I wouldn't take my dog to an environment that can cause stress to my dog. So I'd rather um, take my dog to places that it enjoys to be, even if it's in the house. If my dog is happy in the house and it's enjoying the environment of the house and it doesn't cause it to be stressed, I'd rather spend more time and give the opportunity to my dog to spend in the house, time in the house, than at the dog park just because people say, oh, your dog has to go to dog park. I wouldn't force my dog. Um, so all these are the goal here is to help this dog to be less stressed and anxious. Remember in the beginning I was saying, why is it that dogs are reactive and aggressive and all that? It's because of stress. Now, a typical dog owner would say, you know what, because I have a dog, I have to exercise my dog like hell, like 3 hours of exercise. I have to, uh, they don't do training with their dog. That means they don't mentally stimulate their dog. Uh, they force the dog to socialize with other dogs. Their dog maybe doesn't like the other dog. You know, one of the things that you have to understand that dogs, as an animal, they're very cautious about who they hang out with, who they want to or feel comfortable to be with. Unlike humans, humans, we have the ability to pick and choose of, okay, I want to hang out with this group of people or with these people, with this person in this environment. I want to go to this club. I want to go to this, join that. You can pick and choose as a human individuals. But as a dog, we think that, okay, we have to force this dog to be okay with other dogs. Not all dogs like other dogs. And also, um, dogs, they have to feel safe and secure with the other dog in order to say, okay, I'm going to make friends with you. I'm going to be friend with you. If this dog doesn't know that dog, it's a risk that this dog is taking. Is this dog going to harm me? Is this dog is going to kill me? Is this dog is going to cause stress in me? I don't know this dog. Just because it's a dog, it doesn't mean it's good dog. Dogs, they don't know each other. They, if once they get to know the other dog, that okay, the other dog is safe and secure and good dog, yeah, they can socialize with that dog. But if they're not familiar with other dogs, you're causing stress in your dog when forcing a dog to like other dogs. And again, remember, we are doing all these to not only distress our dogs, but also to make them feel better. Um, so the top three of these five things that a dog needs is exercise, training, socialization that a dog owner should be focusing on mainly. The care and the affection, the other two, are the parts that most dog owners need some form of reminder and tweaking. Most dog owners are so good at providing proper care for their dogs and a lot of affection. Um, but I want to remind you that as a dog owner, you have to consider that the care part of your dog is part of its daily essential needs that you have to provide. And again, look at it from like perspective of stimulation. It's not that I have to care for my dog. Yes, as a human being, we are caring animals, and humans, we love our dogs. We want to care for our dog. But look at it from physiological stimulation point of view, that I have to provide my dog's physiological needs. Now, if you just look at it from I have to care for my dog, you're going to just provide the bare minimum. I have to feed my dog and fresh water, and I have to take it to the vet annually. That's all. Basically, that's all most dog owners focus on. But if you look at it from physiological aspect of stimulating a dog, that means this dog needs to be stimulated from the care that you're providing. One of the aspects of care is food. Most dog owners, they don't study or educate themselves enough when it comes to food for their dog. They just basically consider kibble or dry food as dog food, unfortunately. And when you just feed dry food or kibble, you're not considering your dog's physiological needs, because you're just buying what the market is telling you that it's dog food. But basically, for example, kibble is not a dog food. Kibble, in my perspective, and many professional dog related individuals, kibble is an emergency food. What that means is it's good to buy the bag and have it for in case of emergency. It's not a food that a dog should be eating on daily basis. The reason for that is because kibble or dry food or the food that you buy in the bag is all processed, is not natural, is full of toxins and chemicals that can harm your dog. I'll be making a video about this in near future, but it doesn't have that physiological needs of a dog. It doesn't have it. It doesn't provide a dog's physiological needs when it comes to kibble or dry food. Dry food is not a natural, normal food for a dog. It's not a dog food. It's emergency food. It's good for the times that you're in emergency situation and there's no food around. You can open a bag. Consider the fact that when you open up a food dog bag, as soon as you open it, the toxification begins, because the air is being introduced to that food and starts affecting that food. It was bad already because of all the processing that has gone through to be prepared as a kibble, added all the toxins and chemicals to it. And now you're opening the bag and you're introducing air to that bag and the oil, and you're introducing the air to the oil, to the the chemicals that are in the food, and that itself it's a disaster. So when it comes to your dog's food, for example, that doesn't kibble doesn't physiologically stimulate your dog. It actually causes stress and anxiety in your dog because your dog is eating toxins, and toxins can cause stress and anxiety in your dog. By understanding that, you're going to start hopefully changing the way you look at it, the way you care for your dog. So you're going to have to consider the fact that you have to provide fresh food. Fresh food is something that will, yes, deoxidizing process. When you are feeding kibble and you open the bag of food, deoxidization begins, and it just makes that food to be toxic. So you have to feed your dog fresh food. Um, Otherwise, you're adding toxins to your dog's system. And when you add toxins to your dog's system, it causes, uh, unfortunately, behavioral issues to develop. And there are other things as well. It's not just the food. It's the fact that dogs are being vaccinated annually. That's a problem. They don't need to be vaccinated. Vaccination in general, I know it's a kind of a sensitive topic to talk about, but vaccination overall, um, it's something that most dogs don't need to be vaccinated. And the reason for that is because when a puppy is born, all the antibiotics has been transferred through birth canal and through mom to the puppy to keep it safe and secure for the first few months. Now, the other thing that you have to understand is that these antibiotics are staying in the puppy's system most of their lives. And it can carry on throughout their entire life. And the only thing that you have to do is figure out or testing it to find out if the dog needs this part of antibiotics. So there's a test called titer test that you can test your dog's blood and see if it needs this or that and that, and then provide that is lacking the vaccination for that. But unfortunately, most dog owners are enforced by vets that they need to take their dog to vet clinic every year and vaccinate their dog. And that itself also is causing to add toxins to the system. Again, toxins internally can develop to stress and anxiety. And again, look at it from physiological needs of a dog. Do animals in the wild get vaccinated? No. So antibodies, your dog's needs to have antibody, and that's what I was trying to bring it up. I have a partner who's helping me today. So again, physiologically, you want to provide stimulation for your dog. So when you, for example, you feed kibble or dry food, it doesn't stimulate your dog's physiological needs. But when you feed fresh food, it does. Um, John, the Beagle Dad, it says, I don't know how to do my own fresh food. I'm not a dog nutritionist or scientist. um, that's a good question, John. Let me just quickly answer that. And then we'll go to the next need, which is affection. You don't need to be a scientist or nutritionist to figure out what to feed your dog. Your dog just basically needs what it naturally would eat. Meat, a little bit of vegetables, proteins, and some vegetables. That's all. If you just consider yourself of providing that basic needs, that's all. All you have to do is fresh meat, fresh vegetables. It's not that hard. That's all the body needs to transform it to nutrients that the body needs. Fresh food, and the only way a dog's body or a human's body would take in nutrients from its food is from the food that you provide. As I said, kibble, for example, or dry food, it's dead. It doesn't have any nutrients. Therefore, the body can't develop nutrients from that food, kibble or dry food. But when you feed fresh food, whether cooked or raw, the body will say, okay, I'm going to take nutrients from this food now. I'm going to use them. So the foundation of nutrition for a dog or a human is just basically meat and vegetables. Now, you can get more fancier and get more in depth about nutrition, which hopefully, as I said, I'm going to make a video about it in near future. I'm working on it next week. It will be out soon, that video. You'll learn more about the details of what else you can do, but understand the foundation. That's all it is. It's a meat and vegetable. Doesn't matter what meat. I don't think meats affect the dog's health from, let's say, allergy point of view. Let's say most dogs are allergic to chicken. I doubt that. The reason dogs are allergic to chicken, for example, is not to the chicken, but it's the additives that are in the chicken recipe kibble bag. If the dog is reacting to the chemicals and garbage that is in the food, it's not reacting to chicken. Now, there are very few dogs who would react to chicken if you just give them plain chicken. What that means is that the body needs to reset because it's full of toxins, and then has to reset to not to react to chicken. And the way you do that is you introduce other protein types to the system, and then gradually start adding chicken so the body starts tolerating the chicken. Again, I'll explain it in my future videos. But for now, I just want you to know that it's not it's not something, it's not science. It's not as complicated as you would think it is, because food companies, especially dog food companies, that they have made it, oh, only we know how to feed. Well, just think of it. If you want to live, you have to eat. And if you want to eat, isn't it better to eat fresh food than frozen or pre-made or uh, processed food? I mean, if you have the option of mom's homemade cook, and then you have the option of um, McDonald's, and then you have the option of frozen food from the store, or you have the option of pre-made packed food, which one would you pick? Honestly, which one would you choose? So it's the same thing. I would go with mom's homemade fresh food. That would be my choice. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't even eat McDonald's. I wouldn't even consider the other ones. If I had the option, I would go with homemade food by mom, for example. So the same thing applies. It's not very complicated. You don't need to be a scientist to figure that out. Homemade fresh food is the best food. You have to feed your dog homemade fresh food as well. When it comes to humans, the dogs, animals, whatever it is, I mean, let's think about it from in the wild, right? In the wild, animals, they don't say, let me go find something from that store that has been packed and uh, stored on the store shelf, and let me go and pick that and eat that. No, they go and kill and eat fresh food. Again, you don't have to be a scientist. Nutritionist. You don't have to be a nutritionist. God has created fresh food for us and simplified it. Hey, eat food, real food. All the nutritions are in the food. The reason kibble has become the dog food is because food companies have said, look, we are nutritionists, we are adding all the nutrients in the food, therefore you have to buy this. You are depending on the dog food company to feed your dog. Fresh food has everything a dog needs. The food is the medicine, is the solution. You don't have to complicate it. Eat food, fresh food, you'll be fine. So I hope that answered your question, John. But let's go to the next thing, and the last thing a dog needs, which is affection. Now, as I said, most dog owners are so-called good with, they have high knowledge of care and affection. Now I hope I changed your mind regarding care. You're going to look at it from different perspective, hopefully. Now, affection, what I want you to consider that affection is an emotional stimulation. Again, it's another stimulation, but is the part that you have to look at it from a human perspective. Am I providing my dogs emotional needs? Affection is one of the needs of the dog, and you have to be providing affection for a dog. Now, why am I saying affection is one of the needs? Because as a dog, we have bred that into our dogs as well. Just like socialization and all the good stuff, affection is a part that a dog really needs. I believe every living thing requires and needs affection, including our dogs. And affection is something that it's healthy. Affection is not something like, I'm going to spoil my dog with affection and buy it the latest gadget or the most expensive bed and collar and harness for my dog and raincoat. That's not affection. That's something that a human is satisfying its own need. Like when I'm buying a raincoat for my dog is not saying, "Ooh, wow, I got the latest, coolest raincoat in the world. Look at me, look at me." It's not. It doesn't care. It's me who gets happy to buy the nicest raincoat for my dog, and it's for me. It's not for my dog. So my dog doesn't care if it has the latest color, the most expensive color, most expensive leash. Uh, my dog cares about affection. Affection means that my human, from dog's perspective, affection means that my human is paying attention to me. It's sharing something special with me. It's taking the time and investing that time with me. Most dog owners, they say, I spend time with my dog. And when I ask them, how do you spend that time? They say, I sit on the couch and watch my favorite TV show. And my dog comes and hangs out with me, and or I'm doing this and that, and my dog comes and hangs out with me. Yes, that is something you or your dog is spending time with you, but you haven't specifically dedicated a time to spend with your dog. You happen to be watching TV, your favorite show, and your dog joined you and you're spending time together. That doesn't mean that you are spending time with your dog or your dog is spending time with you. You're just hanging out together. Like, you're just accidentally just are together. But do you actually take the time to say, you know what, I'm going to just hang out with my dog, doing nothing but what my dog actually likes to do? Play with my dog, go for a walk, just sit with my dog and do nothing. Instead of sitting with your dog on the phone and paying attention to the content on the phone, do you actually pay attention to your dog? Do you spend time with your dog? So that itself is affection. And on top of that, if you, for example, say, what a good girl, what a good boy, what a good dog, and you share that actually honestly and you mean it, that it's also another layer of affection to your dog. On top of that, if you play with your dog and you actually exercise your dog and train your dog and socialize your dog and then care with your dog, on top of that you share affection, boom, you got the best medicine, the best tool, the best procedure to create a healthy relationship with your dog that will help your dog not to have any behavioral issues. So if you provide all these 5 things, like for example, you want to share affection, make sure that you have provided your dog's physical stimulation, which is exercise, mental stimulation, which is training, social stimulation, which is socialization, physiological stimulation, which is care, and then share affection. That's perfect. That would be the perfect formula for having a great dog. And I hope I made some sense in this the talk that I had today. I hope you gained something out of this. I hope I made sure that you understood what exactly your dog needs and why you're providing those needs and how to improve your dog's behavior, especially when it comes to reactivity, aggression, and being hyper reactive. Now, I know I simplified it, I explained all these, but if you need help, me coaching you and holding your hand to go over all these in depth and on weekly basis, we just tackle every aspect of these parts that I just explained today and make sure that you're on the right path and you want to get over that hump with your dog, and your dog's behavior and reactivity is just driving you crazy and you can't figure out what to do and you need help. You want to make sure that you understand that I can help you, I can coach you, I can hold your hand and get you there to the results that you want. And the way you do that is you book a free video call, which I have a link in the description below. And just book a free call. We'll go over your challenges and struggles that you have. And if I see that you need my help, really need my help, then we'll start working together. And if you enjoyed today's live presentation and the lesson that you learned today, please share this video with other dog lovers and dog owners. Please like the video and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm just going to quickly go over the chats that John has shared. Portos is a big magnet. He socializes with anyone and everyone, which is good. That's a normal beagle beagle power. They love it. Good. I have a puzzle toy for him, so he knows it is around in the house all day. That's great. He loves fetch, which is great. Use that fetch ability, loves that game, and use it as a reward. Use it as a training session. I've shown you in my lessons. You should know. That's great. Pay attention to your dog. Be one with your dog. Ignore the phone. No phone, and just talk to your dog. Yeah, they understand us, they connect with us, and they enjoy our company for sure. All right, thank you for joining me this first live session on my new channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll try to do as often live sessions as possible. Let me know if you like live sessions and you have questions and things like that in the comments area. If you want me to do more often, I'll try to do every couple of weeks, maybe, if time allows. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos. One coming out tomorrow, and hopefully another one on Wednesday. Thank you. I'll see you next time. And until next time, have fun with your dog. Take care.